All right, got the brand new bolts. These are torque to yield. So ended up discarding the old one somewhere around here, but nonetheless, we're going to start with the build of the lower block. So I'm going to take my time with this here. Make sure I end up greasing these up a bit, and then there's a specific step I got to do with the rear. But what I'm going to do here, because I just want a little layer of oil filament, I'm going to just dab it up just a tad bit. And we want this pointing straight towards the front. Then we're going to grab this here. Bam, bam, bam. Actually, I didn't even see if these match. Just kind of went for it here. Yep, same ones. It was hard to find these bolts. I will say that. I had to search the internet and only found it at one Ford dealership because the other ones had discontinued it for whatever reason. And my only option was to either use those or luckily find something like this. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab this here. Bop, bop, bop. Just get that lubed up on the inside. Pop, pop, pop. It's essentially going to go like that. And I'm going to do that to all of them here. But before I get the bolts in, I want to set that crank in. So let me take these out now that I know they're the right ones. Bam, bam. So that's fine. Got you lubed up, and then we got to lube up those right there. All right. This sucker's heavy. Ooh. All right. Just get a little bit on the inside here. That they're open and exposed. It's going to be a lot more easier. Pop, pop, pop. Cool. And now we want to get those here. Bam, bam. Literally brand new. I had to buy these brand new. 140 bucks for 8 bolts. It's that specialty for you. Man. They are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can't mix them up. Arrows pointed towards the front. It's been a minute since I touched this engine. Getting back from Cancun, trying to get into the swing of things. Beautiful. All right. Bam, bam, bam. Cool. And then this one's a little bit different because I have to actually put silicone grease right along the edges there, and I got to make it very thin. Just dab it up and then set this flush, tap it in, and then torque them down, all within 4 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stop recording here, I'm gonna prep it, and then once I'm ready to continue with the process, I'll start recording again. Alright, so the idea here is just to dab it up just enough to get it on the lines right there. To be honest, first time doing it, very, very nervous. Might even just dab it up because I don't want too much. And bam. Okay, I feel like that should be good enough. We'll let this dry out, cap this. We got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Go ahead, just dab it up a little bit on the inside. Cool. Okay. All right. Before I choose to hammer it in, let me make sure I can actually line this up a little bit as I go in. Might need another mallet, so I might have to stop for a bit, but let's see. Actually, before I do that, what I want to do, just grease up the edge a little bit, just to make it a little bit slippery. Okay, so got it in there. It was not easy. All right, that's in there. That's in there. Now I'm gonna try to bottom these out. Let's see. That looks good. Maybe a couple more wax. Let's see. Okay, slightly off. Had to give it a couple of taps forward. So now I should be able to bottom this out. Cool. And then start torquing it down in sequence. It's been a long time coming with this motor. And then the torque sequence for this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And since this is torque to yield, it's going to be 57 degrees after 26 foot-pounds of torque. So we're going to swap out to this monster, even though 26 foot-pounds is not much. All right, and it should go like this. Go, now on to the next. Cool. All right. Right. Bam. There we go. So now we got the crankshaft main bearing bearings in with the bolts torqued. Again, 26 foot-pounds is what it takes, plus an additional 57 degrees after the fact that you torque it for the first stage. All right. So normally we want to let that sealant sit before it's actually operating, but just a quick little test run so you can see no binding, no grinding, just smooth action. Exactly what we want. All right, so we're taking a look at the brand new piston heads. So these are the old ones. And again, so on this side, right, if we're looking at this from the driver's seat, on this side, everything was on time. Everything on this side, off of time. So ideally, you could see everything somewhat perfect here. Took it to the machine shop, had them, you know, do what they had to do. And this is kind of the ding, those valves left up on top. And again, the risk of actually running the same piston heads here is that you'll end up creating a heat spot just in this one location. So, and that can, you know, that's a call for early failure. It could create more heat cracks, you know, whatever the case. You don't want to go through this extended work, and you know, just because you cheaped out on something like this, which, you know, I spent maybe $600 on the kit, maybe $90 or so, I think, for the guy to swap out the connecting rods and put it on the brand new piston. So now the one problem I am having, because I do not have a 4-inch 3 to 4 inch micrometer. I had one, but it goes only 2 to 3 inches. Therefore, I'm not able to measure this out. But again, this should be fine, since, you know, ideally the timing chain on the passenger side is the one that was the one that broke and, you know, jumped time. The conditions for what a worn out bore would be, this is not experiencing that, so I'm not too worried about it. But what I can do, because I wanted to actually use these old piston rings, because they actually look fairly good, in good condition. A little bit sticky. I can tell that they need to get, you know, maybe washed up. But I'm still going to go ahead. I'm going to take the brand new rings that I got. I'm going to take my time into each particular one that I do. I'm going to do this one at a time, very slow. Measure the clearance in the piston rings. Make sure that is at least fine. Probably going to end up going with the new rings instead. And make sure I can get them seated well. But hey, this is the next step here. We are going on to the piston ring assembly. All right, so went through the inspection, went through the instructions on this. So this is going to be the top, this is going to be the second, and then you got your oil rings, which is 2 rings, top and bottom, and then this little guy that goes dead center. So I did compare each ring to the ones I just pulled off. These are the old rings, by the way, that I just ended up pulling off this piston here. Just wanted to match up, and they do line up. And again, I was contemplating whether going with the second one or not. I did look on all data for the specs, which was, I think, 100.3 millimeters to 100.4, and this thing actually has the specs. Not sure if the camera could actually pick it up. It's right here, 100.4. So that's exactly what I want. Nonetheless, this is going to be on the top. So what we want is to start off with this, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do this for each one. And again, we want, this is going to be the bottom one. As you can see, that lines up there. And does this have any numbers? I don't see anything. Not on this. Either way, let's go ahead. We're going to put this on. This one is somewhat easy to smack on, not complicated. Going to get that on there to the bottom. Right now I'm not even worried about which way they sit. Yes, you're supposed to do this with rings, but honestly this is simple enough to actually do it by hand without fighting. So one of those. Plus one of these. Nope. So there we go, pop, pop. Come on, come on. There we go. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go ahead, we'll compare. Oop, double, don't want to do double. There. Right there, perfect. So let's go ahead. Get this one up to the top. Come on. Almost, almost. Okay, got that one there. So bam, bam. Because I don't want to mix them up, I'm just going to take my time. And we're moving on to the second one here. So, bye chula. I'll be there in a moment. Give me a second. Okay, for this one, I am going to... I'm going to use the tool for this. Cool. Bop, bop. We are in. And then I already checked this one out. Bam. All right, now I'm going to do that to the rest of them. All right, so this is going to be sitting to the front as so. And ideally, before I continue setting up the rest, because I'm not going to record all that, this is supposed to sit kind of in an X fashion. So it's to be something like here, here, and then same thing with the bottom ones. Got to be opposite from one another. Right around there, and then, oops. Tough part is going to be trying to keep that one in place while rotating this little guy all the way around on its own. Let's see if I can push it with another ring. That worked. But see, now all of them are moving. Don't want that. Pop, pop. Want him there. Want that opposite of that. Which means you want him. Right there. Pop, pop. Ideally, that's how you want it. So this one's across the way. Pop, pop. That one's on the opposite end. Then this one comes here, and then that one ends up right there. Okay, I got 2 pistons done. 2 pistons done. I went ahead, organized everything, measured it out. So all of this matches with the old ones. 1, 2, and then the oil rings here. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start off with this one. Or I should say should continue since I'm already started. Pop, pop, pop. Cool, cool, cool. Go ahead, I want to place you like this. Find it a little bit easier when I rotate it. It sits a little bit better. Pop, pop, pop. Cool. That's in. Sweet. Now I'm going to go ahead, grab compression ring 2. And again, right now I'm not even worried about the order or angle of those ends. We're going to do that and worry about it once I install these into the rightful place. But for now, we're just going to worry about getting them on. Pop, pop, pop. Oh no. Oh, that's no bueno. Let's go ahead. That's why I brought a whole bunch of this just in case little incidents like that happen. Courtesy of work. Rags 2, brand new, clean. And where you at? There you are. Pop, pop, pop. All right, there goes 3 pistons done. We are on to the next. Ooh, don't want to do that. It's one thing that I hate is working with gloves because it makes everything more difficult to fill. And even though there's no indicator saying, hey, this goes up on top, there's a specific look I like to one side than the other. And that's kind of what I'm going off of. Doesn't mean you have to do that. I'm just choosing to do it. Come on, no. Get back down to the bottom. Come on. Come on, come on. Why am I struggling with this one? All right. Good. Let's go ahead. We'll grab this one. And this is piston number 6. Bop, bop. And again, all these have been pre-inspected. Sweet. There we go. Sweet. Nice, nice, nice. Piston 5. Bam, bam, bam. Oops, oops, oops. Come on, come on. All right, one more to go. There we go. It's the filling I want. Cool. Bam, bam. On to the last ones. This way. All right, bam. And just like that, you got 6 brand new pistons assembled. Now, what I got to end up doing here is prepping up the inside, lubricating this, getting the bearings for the bottom here, and then smack these pistons, well, compress these pistons in with this tool that I have over here. Let me see. Oops. With this here, you're going to get it right around the piston. There we go. Hopefully this is actually big enough, but you end up... Ooh, this one might be too small. No. We got a ways. Get in it here. Tighten it down, makes that stiff circle, compresses all the rings in. You end up bringing it up over here. Bam, right, compresses that ring in. And then, boop, boop, you get it up in there, just like that. But we'll save that for another day. I think I'm done for now.